Graham Ramini here with Bleacher Report, talking to Brendan Hunt of Ted Lasso fame and everything else you've done throughout your accomplished career, Brandon. Today we're talking the latest timeout order in DoorDash campaign going on now that you're the face of. Pretty exciting stuff and perfect timing with it, with everything that you got going on right now. Brendan, first of all, how's it going? How are you doing?
Uh, good. Um, I uh, Gosh, why am I so unprepared for that question? But no, I'm fine. I mean, all the footballs are happening. Every single kind. Um, I got 2-year-old running around who still doesn't seem to care about the screen when it turns green, and little men run around on it. But I'll get him. I'll get him at some point.
Well, you got a lot going on right now. You got a toddler running around. You're very busy, like I said, sticking with this campaign as well. I feel like you're the perfect fit for it, not only given the fact that it's football season right now, but again, coming off everything you've done in your career as well. Just talk about why you were excited to kind of join in on the campaign and represent DoorDash with what they got going on right now with this timeout order in campaign.
Yeah, sure. Like I'm not necessarily out here like looking for campaigns, but then this comes along and like, okay, that's DoorDash is a product I use already, so that's good. See you guys. Um, and then look at the campaign itself. It's like, oh, this campaign's pretty funny, actually. Um, and then the main idea behind it, at its most central core is like, watch the game. Get off your fucking phone and watch the game. I mean, they wouldn't use the language I'm using, but that's where I'm going with it. So anything that gets people to put their phones away while the game is on, I am 100% behind. Um, and I will try to honor that credo myself as well, and do my ordering. When the action has stopped.
Have you always been a big sports guy? And if so, like with the rise of the phones in like the last 10, 15 years, how have you seen like the game day rituals kind of change with the rise of phones and how it has to do with this sort of stuff and waiting for, a commercial break or something like that?
Yeah, I'm from Chicago, which is such a hotbed of sports, especially the pro sports. But I'm definitely one of these people who's like far more spectator than participant. I almost couldn't be worse at any sport that you try to put me in, despite many attempts to be decent. Failure. Um, but it does feel like back in the day, there was a lot more focus on what was going on the screen. I think it's not just phones too; it's DVRs as well. DVRs have made you lazy. DVRs made you go, oh, wait, what just happened? You know, like when the Bears went on that run to the '85 Super Bowl, like every single game, my eyes were glued to the screen every single time because nothing else to distract you. But now, people got the phones not just to do their messaging and whatever, but also everyone wants to support their lame argument they've just come up with while they're watching the game. It was like, no, actually, no, no, no. His stats from the combine suggest that he blah blah blah. Like shut up, just watch the game.
How have you seen in like, especially the last couple of years with the rise of DoorDash, like you talk about phones and how it can kind of distract from the game as a spectator, from a spectator standpoint, even being at the games themselves, not just watching at home, but like if you were at these things, people are on their phone constant, like obviously just live in the moment. But that being said, with DoorDash and stuff like that, you're able to
Mm-hmm.
order food during the game, timeouts, commercial breaks, whatever it might be, makes it a lot easier. But now having a 2-year-old, does that make it easier for you? Like, how does that affect the process for you when it comes to ordering food and doing stuff like that?
I mean, I'm I love game days, but every time there's a game day, I feel like I forgot it was coming. It's like it catches me by surprise. So I got to eat something. So DoorDash very very handy for that. And then that's not a half hour that I or my partner have to spend in the kitchen throwing something together. Um, and then you add a 2-year-old to the mix, and that amount of focus pulling because he's just walking enough to be incredibly dangerous to himself without knowing it. So like I don't have time to be making anything, you know. Um, so no, I think DoorDash like is like a life change, for the sports fan and a good one.
Are you the type of person to be going to a sports party for game viewing or be throwing it?
Depends on how seriously I take the event.
Okay.
Like if because I think you have to basically assume, especially nowadays, if you're going to a sports party, people are going to be talking. So if it's if it's the Bears in the Super Bowl, no, shut up. I don't want to hear it. if it's a random Super Bowl between, I don't know, the Falcons and the fucking, I don't know, Chargers. Yeah, all right, let's go. Let's go. We'll have a good time. I'm not taking this that seriously. But yeah, I really just do believe in focusing on the event best you can. So if it's one I care about.
Mhm.
So parties have to have very specific circumstances if I'm going to participate.
Okay, they got to have the prerequisites. I see. Okay, it's got to
Yeah,
meet a
yeah.
certain level of expectations. All right, that makes sense. And with the success you've had on Ted Lasso, how has that changed how you're watching the games and enjoying them with other people, if at all?
It tends to get me more free tickets to games.
That's a
Um,
plus.
I seem to be invited to games I already wanted to go to a lot more than I used to 5 years ago. Don't know what happened there. Um, but at home, no, I'm still exactly the same. I'm sitting here in my sweats, forgetting to shower. The games start early here. It's the West Coast, people. Come on, maybe in the East Coast you're all getting all talked up and looking your best, but that's not happening in this house.
East Coast games are the worst because they always start later and end later. West Coast, you got the luxury of it starting earlier and just kind of enjoy the rest of your day after that.
But yeah, but then the catch is soccer, because then
Oh.
the European soccer games you're watching at like 10 or 11. We got to get up at 4:30, and it's a nightmare. But yeah, for American football, West Coast is hard to beat.
Hard to beat with that. And we talk about football. What are we expecting for the Super Bowl this year? Who do you got the final matchup being for the Super Bowl next February?
Cowboys Chiefs.
Okay. Any reasoning behind that? Or are you just feeling it?
Just feeling it. I mean, look what the Cowboys have done these first two games. I mean, maybe they just now own the city of New York, or at least Harrison, New Jersey. But yeah, they looking like they're firing on all cylinders.
Is there anyone from whether it be soccer or football that you've been able to not just meet or interact with through all the success that you've had out through your career that you wouldn't have had a chance to interact with otherwise? That was like a wow, I'm surprised that this person knows who I am type of thing, or like have that relationship.
I went to the LAFC Inter Miami game a few weeks ago with like Lionel Messi coming to town.
Yep.
And I'm walking through the halls as they're taking us to our seats, and coming around the corner is David Beckham, and David Beckham is immediately like, but I'm also like,
Yeah, yeah.
and he didn't love the fact that I was wearing black and gold from head to toe, supporting my local club, but he understood. But yeah, I mean, I generally would assume David Beckham isn't a guy who likes to be surprised by anything.
Yeah.
but on top of that, he knew who we were, and he had a little chat. He shook hands. I was like, all right, that's cool. That guy's cool.
That's pretty cool. Always a great feeling. Last question for you, Brendan. What is your go-to DoorDash order for game day?
There's a there is a restaurant I used to live next to that I don't live next to anymore, called Larchmont Bungalow,
Okay.
who make a morning burrito that is for me the platonic ideal of a morning burrito, because it's not potato heavy. Like, give me the eggs. Give me the eggs. Don't give me the potatoes. It comes with potatoes, sure, but I don't want potatoes in my burrito. That's nonsense. And then we'll get some bacon going, get some porridge for the lad. Shannon gets a kale salad with salmon. And then our coffees come in as well. But that's our Sunday morning time to watch games. Let's get food in us.
Hey,
Ritual.
listen,
Go.
you can't go wrong with that. It's a loaded order right there, and you can't go wrong with eggs and stuff like that, especially on game day. When it comes to an important game, you can't go wrong. But listen, Brendan, I'm excited for this campaign. I'm excited to talk with you today. Big fan of your work. I appreciate you taking the time, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Graham. Have a good one.